Hello and welcome to the Legacy Crusaders YouTube channel. This is Benji, and today I'm joined by Julien of ThunderTheory. Say what up, Julien.
Hey, thank you for having me.
All right, pleasure to have you. So if anyone's not familiar with the series, I bring someone on who knows how to play a deck. They tell us what to do over a few games on Yugioh Pro. In this case, we'll be playing Chaos Thunder. Not as many Thunder cards as I thought there would be in here in the long run, but you continuously play it through the format, and I know you've been modifying what you're doing. So Julian's going to tell me what to do through a few games on Yugioh Pro. I'm going to try and ask the questions you, the audience, might have, and then we'll come back to the deck list at the end and discuss anything that may or may have not come up. Julian, can you pimp your channel real quick? Tell people about what they can find on ThunderTheory.
Oh, yeah, sure. So, like you said, I have a channel. It's called ThunderTheory. We basically do everything that's regarding discussion, gameplay, talking about different decks and basically just introducing them to people. So that's basically what's happening on the channel. And if you are interested in that sort of stuff, check it out.
Yeah, I've seen some DB replays. I know you get in the higher ranks with this crazy fun deck, and we're going to try and show people some plays we can make and make some decisions regarding our actual games. Anyways, we'll do a quick card by card, and then we'll get into a few games. And yeah, so let's go. Quick card by card. We got one Psyframe Driver, one Orbital Hydrolander, one Chaos Neptus, which I think is new. I haven't played it before. Two copies of Danger Nessie, one copy of Absa Router Dragon, two Thunder Dragon Roar, one Destiny Hero Dasher, two copies of Thunder Dragon Hawk, two Thunder Dragon Dark, one Fairy Tale Snow, one Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, three copies of Chaos Valkyria, one White Dragon Wyver Burster, one copy of Destiny Hero Celestial, two copies of Tracer, one copy of Recharger, one copy of Tsuchinoko, one Jackalope, one Dr. Frankendarp, three copies of Psyframe Gear Gamma, three copies of the Dark Beckoning Beast, one copy of the Chaos Summoning Beast, two copies of Magician Soul, one copy of Illusion of Chaos, three Allure of Darkness, two copies of Fusion Destiny, one Gold Sarcophagus, three copies of Chaos Space, one Called by the Grave, three copies of Forbidden Droplet, three Quick Launch, three Emergency Teleport, three copies of Opening of the Spirit Gates, one Boot Sector Launch, and one Dragon Ravine. 60 card decks are really hard to say all these cards.
They are.
Yeah, there's a lot of one-ups and stuff, but I mean, it makes sense for what we're playing. One copy of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, one Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, one copy of Chaos Ruler, or Papega Ruler, or whatever people call this nowadays, one copy of Access Code Talker, one copy of Appaloosa Bow the Goddess, one Curious to Lightsworn Dominion, I love this card, one copy of Nightmare Unicorn, one copy of Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy, one copy of Dragoonity Knight Romulus, one IP Masquerena, one Verte Anaconda, one Striker Dragon, one Link Haribo, one Almirage, one Relinquished Anima. In the side, we're on two Lancia, three Token Collector, three Droll, one copy of Guilty Yearfried, the Magical Steel Knight, which I believe is a super poly target that hits Enforcer and Baron, I think, right?
Baron the Fleur, exactly.
Yeah, I've heard about this strategy before. I just haven't seen anyone actually use it. Three copies of Cosmic Cyclone and three super poly for that fusion, along with the Starving Venom, and I guess we had enough room in the extra deck to main one inside the other, just so that there's enough room. All right, it's an interesting deck list. I'm sure lots of people have built variations of this. Anything about your decisions about what's been coming in and what's been coming out of the deck before we get started? Just because I know it's changed a lot. Like my original thumbnail had Chaos Creator on it, and man, I love Chaos Creator.
Yeah, that card used to be in there. So basically, this deck can contain any sort of dark extenders, you could say. So Magician's Souls and Frankenderp were just cards that go in and out of this deck more or less. And there are other dark extenders you could put in there as well. But those are the ones I am playing right now. If you're wondering about the weird ratios like two Magician's Souls and one of the Illusion of Magic, I think it's called, or Chaos. It's only because I was on like 57 cards, but I needed more dark extenders. And these were cards that work really well because they can just special summon themselves and make Curious really easily. And yeah, I think everything else is just make Curious, get Snow in the Grave, and get rolling from there.
Any thoughts on? There's probably some cards that I'm sure some people probably expected to see in here, like Thunder Dragon Fusion, Thunder Dragon Titan, just from seeing the title of the how to play. Any thoughts on cards you've cut over time and why they haven't made the long run list?
Yeah, so actually this is a very new addition. I added a second Thunder Dragon Hawk for the one fusion that I used to play, so Titan got cut. The reason is that, so Chaos Creator used to be in the deck. So Chaos Creator was a card that you could search with the Thunder Dragon Fusion on the third turn. But since I cut the Chaos Creator, now I realized after 2 weeks of testing that the Thunder Dragon Fusion is not as necessary anymore. And a thing that I've also always missed was the Almirage in the extra deck, because it's the 15th card. The Titan got kicked, the Almirage went in. The reason being that if you get hand trapped on your Dark Beckoning Beast that you searched with the opening of the Spirit Gates, very often you will actually need it in the grave. You will need a card. You will need to be able to discard a card to get it back from the grave, so you can make something like Anaconda. So the Almirage is really important, so you can play after they hand trap your Dark Beckoning Beast. So that's why I think the Almirage is more important than the Titan. And also the second Hawk gives you more or less the same amount of grind game than a fusion would give you, because now you can just search the second hawk instead of the fusion for the follow-up turn. And the fusion in the graveyard won't search to anything good in this specific version of the deck anyway, so that's why I put a second hawk instead of a fusion. Yeah, maybe I haven't really talked about why the Chaos Creator got cut in the first place.
Yeah, maybe worth it.
It was a one-off. It was pretty cool in some scenarios, but I found that also, as you can see, you play a lot of bricks, right? It's one of the decks where you just play a lot of bricks, so you have to minimize the chance of seeing the bad cards, obviously. And Chaos Creator, while it was a nice card on turn 3, and it sounds very cool in theory to be able to bring back your DP or any other like banished cards and just be able to recycle all your banished cards that you banish with snow. In the end, these kind of scenarios, they don't come up often enough, I felt like. Also, the Thunder Dragon Fusion is not something you will resolve always on your first turn, where you put out the Titan, because the Thunder Dragon engine, it's pretty random, honestly, in the deck, right? So if you mill it with the Chaos Ruler or the Curious, it's nice, but there are definitely matches or games or even matches sometimes where you don't see the Thunder Dragon engine at all. So there's not really a reliant way to get the Thunder Dragon Fusion in the grave. So then it starts to become a really random one-off, the Chaos Creator. And I think that was one of the main reasons why I cut it. Now I added I think the card that specifically went in for the Chaos Creator was the Chaos Nephthys that is now in the deck. The reason being that the Chaos Nephthys you can mill with the Chaos Valkyria, so you have additional access to this card, and it's very good in the grave, and it's one of the cards that wins matchups that are usually very hard to win for a deck like this, where you don't really have a lot of grave control, but the Chaos Nephthys gives you a lot of grave control in a matchup like PK or basically any matchup in this format, right? Sword Soul or whatever you or Dragonlink or whatever you play against, this card is phenomenal against. So I think that I wanted to have, if I play a one-off in this deck, I want it to be a one-off that is accessible through another card. Otherwise, there's no reason to play it at one.
Fair enough. I was actually going to ask if Chaos Valkyria had more targets besides like Snow. Obviously, just setting up Snow is worth it. Like, it doesn't seem like you have another really big, I must mill this card to the graveyard off Curious besides Snow, so I imagine that's your second choice.
Exactly. Sometimes post-siding you can send the Token Collector in a matchup where it becomes really good, but usually in game 1 you would always send Snow, and if you already have Snow then you would send Chaos Nephthys, or not even go for the Curious in the first place, because it's not necessary if you already have Snow.
Okay, last couple of questions, because this format, I don't know if people notice, I haven't put up a video in a while. It's partially because this format's really been boring me to death with all the Scythe locks and stuff like that. How does this deck handle like Scythe versus, just the current format and how it's doing?
Yeah, I mean, as good as any other deck, right? But
I guess if you go second, it's a problem.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, just as with any other deck that you play, and as you can see, we only play 6 go in second cards with Gamma and Droplet. I've already said this on my channel, like, is this deck really something that you're going to bring to a YCS? Probably not, but I think that for right now, I mean, for people that live in the US, you have YCSs now. For us in Europe, not so much. So these high-tier events, probably this is not a deck that I would play there unless I really want to have a lot of fun and just... Yeah, but I think for a locals or maybe even a regional format where you don't expect everyone to play Scythe Lock or, highest tier or whatever, this is a deck that can really go strongly against the more or less fair decks in the format. And by fair, I mean anything that doesn't put up Scythe or Barrier Statue or Place Dimension Shifter or any of those really unfair floodgate cards that make you not be able to play the game. But... I would say that versus Scythe, of course, Droplet is the only card that really stops it. Maybe sometimes if you draw Gamma, you can stop that turn. But post-siding, that's why we side a lot of cards, right? We side the Super Polys versus any Scythe deck. Usually if you fusion their Verta Anaconda with the DP to put out Starving Venom, or we, as you mentioned previously, the Guilty Gear Freight is a new Super Poly target against the base deck that is currently running around with Baron de Fleur and Starving Venom Dragon. This is the cards you can make with those. Not Starving Venom, but DPE. So DPE and Baron de Fleur make this card. Because usually people start playing around the Starving Venom Dragon in game 2 and 3, because they will pop their own Vert and the DPE, and then they only have one Dark Monster on the field, but usually they can't play around this, because they have to put this up, so otherwise they just get Nibiru'd. So that's where this is really good, and then the other cards are obviously
I think this also plays around like the Herald Droplet issue, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I think that Super Poly is basically, it's one of the best cards. The thing is, with a deck like this, you cannot choose to play like 15 hand traps, which is something that the base deck, for example, is doing to stop the Scythe Lock even from happening in the first place. This deck is more like you have to find really high impact go in second cards that stop the Scythe when it's already on the field, but you can somehow prevent it in any other way, like Super Poly. There is also an argument maybe to be made to play Dark Ruler, because a lot of people are waiting for you to go in the main phase even with DP and such cards, but then again, there are decks running around like Phantom Knight where they can just chain their Fog Blade and then they chain the DP and stuff, so it's not really that good. So I think, yeah, obviously Scythe is going to be a problem, but we try to cover it as well as possible.
Okay. I mean, you're doing similar things to what I do. I'm on Demise of the Land, and I actually just put Mystic Mine on the board and worry about it next turn.
Right, exactly.
All right. So we're going to get into a few games, and we'll come back to the deck list. I'll probably be cutting a little bit from this because it was a lot longer than I kind of expected, but I find fun decks like this, in terms of like how crazy they can get. There's a lot to discuss.
Yeah, sorry. I do have to say a lot about the deck. It's like I said, it's a deck that I've probably played for the last 3 months, and just because I built the deck basically on my own, so it was not. Not to brag or anything. Not at all. I just think that's why I have a lot to say about the deck, and
that's fair. A lot of people kind of drop a deck when a card gets hit. They don't know what to do with it, so they don't even bother.
Yeah, exactly.
No Colossus. Yeah. Why bother? We'll go on the dice roll. We're going first. So just walk me through the play lines, and then I have a question after the game because I remembered something I wanted to ask.
All right. With this deck, often you will have to look at your hand for a few seconds and see what your options are. So Ravine and Absorauder in one hand is obviously not optimal. Celestial obviously not optimal as well. I probably would still go for Ravine, activate Ravine first, and drop the Absorauder. So something else.
I noticed we don't have like a second dragon worth dumping. Any thoughts on Destrudo?
Exactly. So, all right. All right. Let me finish the thought first, and we can play about Gamma on our own turn, or talk about that. So yeah, Destrudo is a thing that we could play in the deck as well, that I actually used to play just recently, but for this version that I sent you, we don't play it. Yeah, obviously going to change the Gamma here, no questions asked.
I just don't want to keep our opponent waiting too long, but yeah, you're free to continue.
Exactly. So yeah, that would be an option, but yeah, I mean, this scenario obviously doesn't happen too often where you draw Ravine and the Absorauder, so that's a bit unfortunate. But now we can sort of think about if our plays change, but now you've already activated the Ravine. It's fine, we just dump the Absorauder. It doesn't really matter. We can dump the Absorauder and just put the second Tracer in the grave. Exactly, we don't need that anymore. So we use the Absorauder, get the other Tracer to our hand.
Yeah, my bad. I do sometimes press on just because I'm always concerned our opponent like ditching, and we do a lot of discussion, although I do understand. I assume we're going to do the Chaos Ruler, and it might have messed with the decision.
Exactly. No, it doesn't really matter. I think it was even the better decision, because otherwise we might have milled the Rocket Tracer that we wanted them. So that's really good. I think that I would probably, yes, go for Chaos Ruler now already. Go for Chaos Ruler, and I mean, that is more or less the main strategy, right? We just go Chaos Ruler, and then we see what we can mill. Double Nessie, Snow. Alright. That's really good. We add Nessie, of course. Now, Nessie is a bit awkward with the Destiny Heroes in the hand. DP is a big part of the deck. So if you have a danger monster in hand, sometimes you don't want to activate it if you have a Destiny Hero in your hand. And we already have Snow now. So probably, let's think. Probably we would normal Tracer here. That's what I would do. Because we could always also think about normaling the Frankenderp, but Tracer gives us a lot more plays. Then go for Striker Dragon, exactly. We can put that in the grave, exactly, at the Boot Sector launch, just to get a bit more, a few more cards. We don't want to activate Snow, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not used to it asking me to activate it anymore. Yeah. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, activate the Striker Dragon. And now you probably, yeah, destroy the Striker Dragon, I would say, and just add back this the Tracer. And then activate the Boot Sector launch, summoning the Tracer from the hand. And so this, now things change a bit because we already have the Snow in grave. That's pretty cool, because now we don't have to go through the whole thing of making Curious to get it in the grave and stuff. So now we can make a pretty easy play. We can just pop the Boot Sector launch with the Tracer, and then make IP and Anaconda. That's basically going to be our end board. So exactly. So you're going to summon Recharger. You're going to make IP Masquerena with Chaos Ruler and any of the Dragon monsters. It doesn't matter. Probably do it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And then we summon back the Chaos Ruler, banishing. Oh, wait, is Snow? No, exactly. Yeah, so we can summon banish the Gamma and any Dark monster from the grave. It is probably Striker Dragon, because in case we draw Chaos Space next turn, we can banish the Chaos Space and get the Striker Dragon back, and then we summon the Chaos Ruler, and then we go for Verte with Tracer and Chaos Ruler. and just summon DPE.
All right. Turning on our Nessie for next turn when we won't be able to lose our Celestial.
Exactly. You see, that's also the Thunder
tap
Dragon
defense,
deck.
do you have a preference?
Ooh, on defense. I mean, in case they play Lightning Storm, I guess. But
well, I mean, they're on Shifter, so what can they be playing? Medolce.
Flunderies, probably. They're probably playing Flunderies.
How's our current board state seem versus that?
It's okay. I think it's okay. So they search the field spell probably.
That'll give us some info.
Exactly, and if they use the effect of the field spell, we can just use DPE to.
This
that's the
field
different
spell.
Ah, that's the other field spell. Yes.
It gives them like an extra normal of a Wind Wing Beast specifically. They are on Flunderies, so that's good to know. So they took Toucan. Gold Sark. That sets up plays.
Yes. I mean, that's fine. We can't do anything about it.
I mean, we do have a play. I just don't know how effective it would be. We could, like, make an Appaloosa, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's something we could do, but of course they're gonna... I mean... Alright, they're gonna activate map. I'm not familiar with the other field spell that they search. They can normal another...
They can
Wing Beast
activate its effect to let them summon another Wind Wing Beast specifically, but not all of them are. Like, Robina isn't. So, if we can keep Robina out of the hand... well, I mean, I guess Elgin's a Wind Wing Beast, so... If they're starting with the... Well, they're going to start with the Toucan. And then try and add back the Robina. I'm not sure. Is Toucan Wind? Toucan's Wind, so they can get like an extra normal summon there.
Can they activate the Toucan effect at the moment? What even is the effect? It's to...
They can add back a
one
banished Floowanderies, so they usually chain it so they get the extra normal off of it by adding the Robina back with the Toucan, but they chain the Robina also to kind of play around certain plays.
I think what I would do, I think the Appaloosa play that you mentioned earlier is actually not too bad. I think what I would do is to not make it now, but let them activate the field spell, and then when they use the effect of the field spell, chain DPE, destroying the field spell, and then make Appaloosa on the resolution, and then we just keep negating their monsters that they summon. I think even if they chain block them, that doesn't really matter.
Make Appaloosa now?
Yes, make Appaloosa now. I don't know if Yugioh Pro asks you on the resolution of things, if you can do something, but that's fine.
Well,
that
it does ask us if we want to do things on resolution if we like hold down like a button, but they did have priority in response.
You can just I mean you can also just chain the IP here. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Also, the Cold Battle Grave doesn't matter at all. And now we have perfect knowledge, right? They only have the monster and the field spell. So
that gives him an extra normal summon of a Wind Wing Beast. He can chain block, but he'll get to add back Robina, so we really just need to save our negate for the Robina.
Exactly.
Because this one doesn't actually do anything. It also lets him to tribute summons of level 5 or higher with 1 tribute, but he doesn't have access to that. So see how they're getting 2 shots to add the Robina back to hand off of this.
Exactly. Yeah, so we're just gonna let it go through, and then on the Robina we can just activate Appaloosa, and I think that should be it.
Yeah, because they won't be able to like special and try and go for what is it, Zeus?
Right, yeah. They cannot I think they cannot special summon from the extra deck, or what was it?
Yeah, they can't special summon at all. Oh, it didn't bother to attack Appaloosa? Oh, it didn't let me use Snow. Do you want a dash or a dark?
Yeah, sure. That's always great. So usually, I mean, the turn 3 with this deck is super simple. You can, especially in a game state like this, you just go with Snow, and then you just somehow try to make access code Talker. So I guess you can activate, or you can normal summon Frankenderp, use the effect to draw a card, or at least look at it.
Sort of draw a card.
Yeah, sort of draw a card, exactly.
Quick launch. I don't think there's any targets left.
There are no targets, exactly, so we don't take it. And then we...
Oh, whoops. I think it said, do you want to put it on the bottom? I thought it was saying
It's
don't
not
feed
even too, I mean, at least now we have a card to potentially discard with Nessie, so probably activate Nessie now. And then if they hit the quick launch, it's not even too bad. All right, then we can search one and then hope that they hit the quick launch then.
preference.
Yeah,
I'm sure it doesn't matter so much at this
It
point.
doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. Just take one of them. I mean, I guess Jackalope, because it thins out the deck a bit more if the Jackalope gets hit and you have one more card for Snow. But in a game state like this, obviously this doesn't matter. But in theory, now you get one more monster in the grave. So you could even think about here, just if you want to be like super duper extra, you could go for Curious here as well. Exactly. And dump something like the Chaos Nephthys or something to go even crazier, and then go for the Curious. I think that's something we could do. So,
All right, Curious.
Just some Curious, and then we also get the search with Dragon Dark.
Curious's first effect is not mandatory, so we can chain block. So I guess we want to search off of Dark.
Exactly.
But the second effect of Curious is mandatory. Right.
Exactly, yeah, which is kind of unfortunate for the deck, because sometimes there are scenarios where you will mill the DPE targets, which is kind of unfortunate. That sometimes messes up your lines of plays. But in this case, it's totally fine. Yeah, you just mill the Chaos Nephthys, I would say. Yeah, and then if we're lucky, we mill a Chaos Space or something. That sometimes happens. You see. And... yeah, I mean, I guess I would use. I guess I would use Dragon.
Well, I mean, the easiest thing to do is just link these into an access code with 6300 and then just summon something.
Yeah, that would be. I guess if we play it very safe, I would probably put leave the Apollosa on the board. Just go for Snow right now, and then banish some Thunder Dragons. Then go for access code Talker with the Snow and the Curious. Then use the Hawk, summon back the Dark that you used for Snow to banish. So you have more Thunder Dragons in the grave for the following turn. And but yeah, I mean, we're talking about optimal plays right here in a scenario where it doesn't really matter, but I guess for the viewers as well, it's like good to know which of the plays are going to be more efficient in a scenario where it wouldn't be so clear the game state. So yeah, I'll just use access code, destroy all that stuff.
Yeah, this is super unnecessary. Chaos Nephthys.
Right, sure. Let's activate it.
What does it require us to? Banish any 2 cards or a Light in the Dark?
A Light in the Dark.
Makes sense. I'm not familiar with this card. So it banishes a card on their field and 2 in their grave?
Exactly, yeah.
Sure.
Sure, whatever, yeah. That works. Also gives you a nice 24 body, so that's also pretty cool. And I guess from this point on, we can just attack. Yeah. All right.
I appreciate them sticking that out when we had that access code available.
Yeah.
So.
Right. It's nice for everyone watching. It's good to know like what you can do on your turn 3 follow. So against Flunderies, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If they didn't drop that shifter when we had no monsters on the field and they had respected Gamma, we probably would have lost, because that's a problem. Of course, I think that besides Scythe, the Dimension Shifter is one of the biggest problems of our deck, but I mean for any deck in the format, pretty much that's why the format is not so good at the moment. But yeah, Lancia is a card that I would definitely put in. Cosmic Cyclone, probably you can put in as well. And then usually with the deck to... let us think for 1 second. It depends on how many cards we can put out. So Gamma, we want to keep in versus the matchup, so because we have to stop the Dimension Shifter. Droplet, I would personally put out, because in case they have Shifter, the card is not that great versus the deck anyway, I feel like. But if they have Shifter, the card is completely dead, so that's why I put it out. And then usually the way I side in this deck is just by putting out 1 Chaos Valkyria, maybe 2 actually, because in case they have Shifter, it's not even that good. And I mean, our entire deck is not that good then, but just it's one of the cards that we don't have to have in the deck for our deck to function. And then
would we want Drolls or not bother?
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, honestly, I would rather go high risk, put the Droll in and put the Cosmic out again. Just because there's not really any other cards that you want to sacrifice. So, and versus Flunderies, it's one of those matchups where it's just hope and pray, I suppose.
Well, it looks like it's going to go well, since most of their cards require them to add something.
Exactly. The only problem is if they have Shifter, you cannot activate Roland Lockbird, so that's why it's kind of a gamble to cite this card in the first place. It's kind of like Droplet. But the difference is, I think, like, in theory, it should be way more impactful than Droplet, for example. But I think if they start with Eaglin, maybe not as impactful. I have to say the Flunderies matchup is something that I try to avoid for the most part in this format, and on Dueling Book, where I mostly test, not too many people are playing it. So they're gonna go for M-Pen, probably gonna...
Well, we're obviously gonna draw. Oh wait, yeah. The chain timing is so weird with this because it has to resolves an effect and then it performs a summon.
Exactly.
So now they still have one more normal, and they can just summon M-Pen and do nothing, or maybe at least we kept them off of the barrier statue.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's fine, right? We stopped them from searching 2 cards with M-Pen and Rabina, so...
Well, normaling for us now is kind of dangerous. Oh, I wonder what that is.
Alright, that's a very, very good draw. I would start with Illusion of Chaos.
Be nice if we had some spells to draw.
Yep.
And you only play one illusion. He's your only spellcaster, right?
Exactly, yep.
So I gotta put that back.
I mean, right now we cannot normal summon because of the field spell, but if you could normal summon, just for anyone watching, in theory we could search the spell with Dark Beckoning Beast that we could then put to the grave with Magician's Souls and then draw a card like that later, but in this scenario it's not too good. So yeah, probably just go with Magician's Souls.
Oh good, that puts our target for Wyverburster in there.
Exactly, yeah, so that's pretty nice. Only problem is that I don't really know how we're going to deal with these M-Pen yet.
Yeah, because everything we summon that's a link is going to be in attack position, which of course means they don't do anything.
Exactly. Probably still summon the... Let's think. So if you normal summon something, they would activate the field spell, they would use Rubina, they would probably go for Barrier Statue. Maybe summon the Wyverburster first, because I think that's a card that we definitely want to have on the field. And we're probably going to have to use Nessie to draw another card. You could just summon it in attack. And then, yeah, I guess activate Nessie.
Well, we get another shot to activate something. Preference? I guess they...
Jackalope. I would... Yeah, Jackalope. Let's get Jackalope.
Come on, game-breaking card. Let's go.
Okay, so...
This derp does anything.
1 second. I think that... Okay, can you look at the graveyard for a second? We have 3 monsters. You know, the play that I'm thinking about is at least a way to get rid of the M-Pen. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go with Jackalope and Wyverburster into Dark, the Charmer. Yep, use the Wyverburster, search the Collapse Serpent. And then we're going to go in the battle phase and attack with Dark into the M-Pen.
What card are we trying to search?
We're going to search Hydralander.
Ooh. I like it.
And then we can search Hydralander, because we have only different monsters in the grave and we have 5 or more. We can special summon the Hydralander and potentially get rid of the M-Pen that way. Alright, they're going to have our attack. That doesn't matter for us. Yep, going to use the Dark.
Just seeing what our other options are before we commit to that.
Yeah, just for anyone interested. I mean, it searches like every engine at least, mostly, of your deck, so...
Yeah, none of the other ones do anything.
Yeah, Hydraland is mostly the card that you're going to search with Dark when it gets destroyed by battle. So this is actually a common thing that you do in the deck. You just crash it to death with Dark because it's so broken. And then you summon the Hydralander.
In defense.
In defense. Yeah, exactly. Not in attack. And then I'm going to use the effect and hope that we don't mill a second Nessie or something.
Yeah. You just had to play 2 Nessies, didn't you? Exactly. Oh no, a droll!
No!
He negated it. It didn't do anything.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that's actually a problem about droll, but we can
apparently we know the chaos space, so we can draw a card.
Yeah, I guess we can do that. Yeah, or just siding any 3-0s in general. It makes Hydraland a bit worse. Oh, chaos space. All right.
Do we even have a target left? What's left?
Yeah, we can get a Valkyria for example, which is honestly not too bad. But yeah, we can do that. Go for Chaos. Yeah, use Chaos Base. Discard, I think, Frankenturb. Yeah, so that's why we always keep one Valkyrian, so we still have one to search with Chaos Base. And then we summon the Valkyria.
Doesn't matter,
Banishing. Right? I would probably go with Wyverbuster.
We don't want to leave any lights in the grave for potentially some other plays.
The Valkyria is gonna get in the grave anyway, but maybe
Because lights
But
are
we
always
already-
like hard to come by in these decks. It just
I
feels...
know what you I know what you mean. We already used Chaos Base this turn, so what I was thinking is that maybe we can add back the Wyverbuster if we put it back with Chaos Base, but we already used the Chaos Base this turn. I mean, honestly, it doesn't really matter probably. So
we're probably gonna lose
either
this game, I think.
Wyverbuster or Dark. You can also put Banish Dark and then potentially put it back.
Let's just do a Nessie in case we get to an access code that does something. Doubtful though. What can we make here?
Can you can I read the MPIN? I actually haven't read it in a while. Your opponent cannot activate the effects.
Yeah, so nothing we put in attack mode can activate, but we can put the Valkyrie in the graveyard and then banish to summon Collapse Serpent.
Exactly, and then we could at least put Snow in the grave to survive or something.
Yeah. We can set up like an Appaloosa, I guess, if we can get another monster on board, but we can't normal, really.
Yeah, and also it would be negated anyway by the MPIN, so...
Well, we can make IP, and then we can summon Collapse Serpent and get a 3 mat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, whoops. That doesn't do anything. Actually, we could Verte, then send... Oh, we can't use Snow this turn.
Exactly, yeah, so Valkyria is only on the next turn.
Alright, I guess IP will set something up.
Something we didn't do that we usually would do is that we would put the Magician's Souls to... I mean, in this area not because we went for IP, right? Yeah, so not in this scenario, but usually we make it to Linkuribo first, so we have one more card in the grave to banish with Snow.
Gotcha. Well, we could always book his card with Snow next turn and then IP it away, but then he might just search it again.
Yep. I mean, I guess... I mean, this is not even... I mean, if you think about it, this is not even too bad of a setup, because we have, on their turn, we can use Snow, get rid of all the same names in our grave.
Yeah, I think it's just the Droll.
And then... Exactly, yeah. So, and then we can use the Hydroland again, and we have IP and stuff, so maybe it's not even too bad, yeah. But we have to pass here.
Yeah, I can't think of too much else we can do. We did a lot. The question is, does the map matter? Because he's going to run through the full chain anyway, right? Because if we really want to pop it, we could pop it with Hydrolander, but we have to use Snow early.
Yeah, I think... I think it's still... Wait, how many... We have to count how many cards we have, because we can't
There's
use
11
Snow
in grave.
Yeah, it's a bit too little. The Linkuribo would have been good.
Yeah, my bad. Well, I think we can Snow use Hydrolander to try and pop the M-Pen. Whatever gets normal gets booked. Then we can, like, IP. I don't know.
So here's what I would do. I would probably use Snow right now, then chain the Hydrolander, try to destroy the field spell to cut them off of their second normal summon. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what you banish, just
making sure I got all the dupes.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I did.
And get rid of all the cards that you potentially could mill as duplicates as well. So if you have something in your grave that maybe you play a second copy or third copy of as well in your deck.
I think we got them all.
Yeah, probably. So Magician Souls and Droll are the important ones. Yes, exactly. So, and then we chain the Hydrolander now. What did we mill?
Hit a duplicate? We did not hit a duplicate.
Right. Oh, that's actually a very good mill. Perfect. Yeah, no, it's perfect. I think this will work. So we pop the field spell. Yes. And then when the Snow gets returned, we activate its effect to book the M-Pit face down.
Now we can do something.
And then on the resolution, we activate IP. Get the Snow back in the grave. Make Appaloosa.
Well, he could just flip over the M-Pin again.
Exactly, and he flips it over, and then we use Snow again and flip it face down again. So
Appaloosa?
yeah, we make Appaloosa now, and then yeah, with this and also the Collapse Weapon, we leave the Hydra on the board, I guess, because
We can make a bigger Appaloosa. Might be better.
I don't think it's necessary because they cannot trigger more than 3 effects in a turn for sure, and they're not going to run over the Appaloosa, I think. So
Book it
yeah,
immediately.
so I book it immediately again. Nice thing is we also banished a lot of Thunder Dragons, so that gives us more follow-up.
Well, now we kind of have to banish everything, try and leave chaos space, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But it's nice because I forgot that we get more cards in the grave with Hydralander. See, it works perfectly now. The numbers. Yeah, use Raw. We're not gonna use Hawk because our Dark Beckoning Beast is a really good follow-up card in our hand, but Raw is really good to use here. And Snow, of course, yeah, just booking it face down again.
And should we send... What do we summon? Because it gets added back to our hand if they don't kill it, and odds are they can't kill it.
I would probably still summon the Dragon Dark, because worst case we can summon it, we can banish it with Snow in our hand as well. Alright, so now we just use Appaloosa.
Well, we'll be using it on the Elgin.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I had in mind, and then they search something, and then the one that they search and normal we also negate, and then they have to pass, I think.
Hopefully.
If they don't have anything else.
In theory, this should work.
Yes. Yo, it's crazy that we made this work, though. I didn't think that we were gonna...
Yeah.
that we're gonna get this far, honestly.
Well, I think the Hydralander mill was something we just didn't plan for so well.
Yeah. But also, once again, goes to show how good the Dark Crash is. The Dark Crash to search Hydralander is so important to remember.
Okay, so this is the turn ender. Now they kind of have to crash the Eaglin into the Appaloosa if they want to play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Let's see. Maybe you were right with the additional material for Appaloosa we're gonna see.
Well, I mean, we didn't really want to lose the Hydralander, I guess.
Oh, nice. They passed. Perfect. Yep. We win.
All right, run it through.
We have Frankendup banished, right? If I remember.
Yeah,
was it last game?
He came down in the previous game.
So,
I mean,
probably we go for Dark Beckoning, normally Dark Beckoning Beast. Search the spell.
Well, I expected that scoop. I just didn't know how far they let us go.
Okay, so just for everyone watching, what we would have done here is we would have normal this, get the spell, then we would have activated Teleport, summon Gamma, go with Snow, Dark Beckoning Beast, and Gamma into Chaos Ruler. Mill 5 cards, and then see what we get from there. We have more materials for Snow in the grave again. That we also have Dragon Dark in the hand that we could use Hawk with, and then we could make access code really easily. And we could also pop a card with Hydralander at some point in the process. So, yeah.
Okay. And there was a lot of things that would go off. We had so we had the Dark that was going to get discarded maybe for the... What's that card called?
Blanking. Oh yeah, the opening of the Spirit Gates.
Yeah, opening of the Spirit Gates. We had the Chaos space to put something back. We had a lot of lines, and they didn't have any more interruptions because they got their field spell popped. I was actually thinking we should pop the Empen, but I think, yeah, that wound up working out really well. I didn't consider booking the Empen twice in the line just because of the lack of monsters in the grave, I guess, or the lack of cards. So I guess that extra 5 cards was something that we really had to, like, think ahead, like, oh, we will have 5 more cards.
Yeah, exactly. That's often what it comes down to when you play with such a deck where, yeah, you just have to mill a lot of cards and you're so reliant on Snow. Well, I think that was a really cool match to show what the deck can do.
Oh yeah, that one was all about decision making, which is the point of this video. I know it says how to play, and it implies that like we're going to run over what every card actually does. I mean, we're deciding what to do with the cards more than just telling you how to read. You know.
Right.
This hand looks interesting. Thoughts?
It's very good. If they don't have a hand trap, it's more or less full combo, if you can call it that. So we know the Dark Beckoning Beast. Use its effect. Yes. Opening of the Spirit Gates.
So that's just our free spell to draw a card off of for the souls.
Magician's Souls later on. Yes, exactly. We add the level 1 monster. Then we normal the level monster because we can normal twice with the Dark Beckoning Beast on the field. We turn we turn the level 1 monster into a Linkaribo. Then we discard the Thunder Dragon Roar with the spells effect to special summon back the level 1 monster. Then we turn the level 1 monster into Relinquished Anima, which now we have 3 monsters with the same attribute, different types, and when we can turn all of those into Curious. So if you have the Dark Beckoning Beast with Thunder Dragon Roar, that's already a very good sign, because you can then mill the the Fairy Tail Snow with Curious, and banish your Thunder Dragon Roar with Snow, and then you have a lot of extenders and ways to make different monsters.
And now I guess we just hope we don't mill the wrong part of the fusion package. Well, we milled the right part.
Yeah, that was also really good. We got a Chaos Space in the grave in the process, so now we can use the Snow and banish the Roar and or any all the other cards that
Thoughts
maybe
on
also
summoning the Orbital Hydrolander early while there are no duplicates in here?
I wouldn't do it, because if they have Nibiru and they're gonna use the Nibiru on the summon of Dragon Dark and Snow now, we still have Hydrolander as a follow-up card, so
Gotcha.
that's something I also really like about Hydrolander. I mean, if they're clever and they know what our deck does, they would probably use.
What should we keep in grave? Maybe the Dark Beckoning Beast to summon off of the spell again? Oh, maybe we're getting rid of the spell, I guess.
Yeah, if possible, you can keep one of these two in the grave. It doesn't matter which one, either the Dark Beckoning Beast or the Chaos Summoning Beast. But
or
other than that,
keep
just
a Dark Link monster for access code.
Yeah, I mean, I like to keep Linkuriboh in the grave as well. So in case we, I mean, I don't know, it's very unlikely, but in case we,
well, it looks like we actually have to use a lot. I guess we have to get rid of it too, because we just don't want to banish Chaos Space, right?
Yeah, sure. So.
Oh well, they all went.
Alright. Yeah, no, it's fine like this. I mean, those are just how do you say, luxurious problems or whatever. They're not really. Yeah, we just summoned Dragon Dark.
Call them first world problems. All right.
Yeah, first world problems, exactly. So we're gonna make Apollosa with Dragon Dark and Curious. Gonna use Dragon Dark's effect, adding the Dragon Hawk. This is where we can now use the Legion of Chaos. Add the Magician Soul, summon the Magician Souls. Put the spell in the grave and get an additional draw.
Upstart.
Right, Dragon Ravine. Oh, that's a... we have normal summon already, so...
I feel like we need a better card to discard. Well, I guess Chaos Nexus is good.
Chaos Nexus is a free discard, so that's fine. We can... I guess...
And we have a Chaos-based draw also.
Yeah, let's activate the Chaos... What do we have banished? We have Linkuriboh, we have Anima... I mean, those are the two cards that we could put back. I would probably... What do we have in our graveyard?
Dark, Chaos-based, just these.
Okay. I think it doesn't matter if you use Chaos Space right now or if you use it later. You can use it now so we know what we work with. I think. And we can just put Linkuriboh back in there.
Okay.
The reason I prefer Linkuriboh is because we can make the Linkuriboh with the Magician Souls, and then on the next turn we can swap our level 1 monster on the field with the Linkuriboh in the grave in case they Valor or something like a Magician Souls or something.
Gotcha.
I mean, Droplet is a fantastic draw. That's basically usually seals the deal.
Linkuriboh now?
Yeah, we make Linkuriboh, exactly. Then, and I mean, at this point, you just vomit out monsters. You can use Dragonhawk, summon out the Dragon Roar from the banish pile. Yep, from the banish pile. So we get more cards in the grave, and now you can make IP Masquerena with the Snow and the Dragon Roar, I guess. Yeah, exactly. And now we just have to. We're gonna go Dragon Ravine now, I think. Discarding the Chaos Nephthys. Putting Absorauder in the grave. Searching Rocket Tracer.
And do we summon Snow to go into Verte?
Yeah, what do we have? Only different names in the grave at the moment?
We can summon the Hydrolander, yeah.
Okay, then I would summon the Hydrolander first. And now use the effect of Hydrolander.
And if we don't hit a duplicate... Well, let's see. Did we hit a duplicate? There's a dark.
Oh, we did, yeah. So we already have a dark in the grave. Oh, it's no problem.
Yeah.
So now we can... Otherwise, we would have just popped our Dragon Ravine that we don't need anyway. So now we can use the Snow in the grave and make Verte Anaconda.
So now we banish that extra duplicate card.
Yeah, exactly.
And cards that have duplicates. So the extra dark... I mean, we might put Illusion back, I guess. Valkyria has a duplicate in the deck. Nessie does.
Magician Souls also.
Oh, yeah. Did I miss anything? Or just got to pick a choice on the last card. I guess the spell.
The spell, yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Chaos Valkyria.
Yeah, just to get an additional card in the grave for Snow. Doesn't really matter. Also, maybe...
Want to get the driver out of the deck? We can't draw it.
Yeah, sure. So now we go into Verte with Link, Rebo, and Snow. And now we just make DP. The great thing about this is also that even if they have something like Droplet, Dark Ruler, Dark Ruler is very unlikely, and if they have Droplet, they have to get rid of a lot of cards to negate our entire field. But then we still have double Snow with the Droplet, because we can summon the Snow back and then get rid of it with Droplet and stuff. Yeah, we set the Droplet and then we just pass. So...
Dark Ruler, let's go! It happens sometimes. It's always funny if we make like the best board and then they just break it in like 10 seconds.
Exactly. But like I said, even if they had Dark Ruler, we would still have 3 interruptions, which, I mean, that's... I mean, most decks can't usually even play through like 2 interruptions, and 3 is... Yeah, it's very, very, very good. And we also have the Chaos Nephthys in the grave, which is something that we must not forget, like if they have a card that destroys something by card effect. Dark Worm, I guess. Apollosa, I guess. Doesn't really...
Well, we don't know how much they need, whatever that is. It could just be baiting a negate. I mean...
Yeah. But at this point, I think our Apollosa negate is so... There's so little value in that for us that... if they search a card with it.
I think this just searches another Dark Worm.
I think it could search also the
Chaos Dragon, the big one?
Yeah, exactly. But... and also, basically, any... I mean, if they're playing Odd Eyes or something like this, they can search the entire archetype, but...
Want to ash them with Appaloosa?
I guess we just negate that, yeah.
Well, that makes our decisions for Appaloosa end. I don't got to worry about that anymore.
I mean, if you get to a point where you negate with Appaloosa twice in a game like this and they basically lost 2 cards, it's very unlikely that they have anything good to follow it up with. And if they put scales, we just destroy their scales and stuff.
Odds are that just searching a scale.
Oh, that card's good. I know this card.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, we'll just probably pop it when he plays a scale, just so we can see what's going on.
Yeah.
Try to pop it now?
Maybe wait for the effect. I don't know exactly what it does anymore.
It pops a card on your field and searches an Odd Eyes card. I don't know what he would search. He probably just wants to be able to trigger the Arc Pendulum Dragon.
I guess I would wait for them to activate the effect of the field spell first and then respond to it.
I guess we could destroy the card he targets. Okay, well, there's 2 scales. We could just pop them both with the Hydrolander and the DP, and then he'll have 1 card.
It doesn't really matter, I think, yeah. If we do it now, or if we wait for the field spell to activate its effect, or...
Hit a duplicate.
Do we have duplicate?
Doesn't look like it. Nope.
Perfect. Alright. Start destroying their stuff, and DPE can also activate, yeah. Easy. All right, and we could also use Chaos Neftis now if you wanted to. I mean, why not, right?
Why not? We could add a hand. And then,
Curious, I guess.
I'm always concerned about banishing light monsters. And not light monsters, blanking on
Link
the word.
monsters?
Link monsters
You
for
mean-
access code.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Oh, I forgot to use it. Whoops. Oh, whatever. We're winning by a mile.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah, in general, I definitely get the point. Because this deck mostly has dark monsters in the extra deck. The only non-dark is Curious, and Romulus is the other one that you sometimes make.
Almirage.
And now, yeah, I'm not used to Almirage yet. I've only added this, like, I think probably a day before I sent you the deck list. So
Gotcha.
It's a very new addition.
He attacked IP. I wasn't paying attention. I guess we don't really care.
Well, we don't care. Yes, it's okay. I guess it's fine. We if they attacked it, we could also use snow and just book it face down and then.
Yeah, but then
use
we
the
wouldn't have a
IP.
place to put the blinking destroyer.
Yeah, but of course, but then we could use the IP once again in the main phase 2 to link our entire board off, for example, and then we would have a lot of space again. So that's usually the way. Like even if you have a full board of monsters with IP Masquerade, it's so cool because you can just link them off, so you have a free field again.
Just taking his arrow away.
Yeah, sure. I'll let you do your thing. I think there's no way we can possibly mess this up in any way.
I'm gonna try really hard to mess this up.
You're gonna be good. You're gonna be good. All right.
So now he can pend one. I don't think any particular one does anything productive. Because what's he gonna pend? A card that has already been used once per turn. This thing does something. It could just
We
defeat
win.
the monster.
Nice.
All right, Pendulum. Thoughts on how to stop them?
All right, Droll. Droll is auto win versus any pendulum deck, and I guess
Venom's usually good against them. Usually most board cards are dark.
I suppose, yeah. I guess we could put that in, and then we can just put out maybe. I mean, against those rogue decks, every card in our deck is good. I feel like there's nothing to do. I mean, I guess if they side in like Lancia or something, which probably a pendulum deck wouldn't do, but we side out 2 Chaos Valkyria again, maybe. Maybe we side out... also something I usually side out is 1 Dragon Roar and 1 Dragon Hawk. Just because, like I said, if they have Lancia and stuff, it's not really that good post-siding. What else could we put out? 2 more cards.
Called by,
Maybe.
they don't really play hand traps.
Yeah, I think the Chaos Neftis is not too necessary also.
All right, we can run with this.
Mhm.
All right, I'm glad
Looks
you
good.
didn't say take out Allure of Darkness. The goal of Allure is to get to your side cards.
Oh yeah, no. Why would you take out Allure? Who suggested this?
I mean, it's technically like an easy side out. Like it's technically just replacing one card with another card without really changing like your deck composition. But a lot of times, when you're playing draw cards, the whole purpose of playing draw cards is to get to specific cards, right? Not to be a place
course,
filler.
Of course, and also the big thing is that we have to view Allure as a starter in our deck almost, because if we draw it with any Thunder Dragon card, it becomes like an advantage generating card. So Allure is one of the best cards. I would never side that card out.
Yeah, I was always a big fan of Allure, specifically in Thunder. I don't like it in a lot of things because they don't get any pluses. I try to play like Thunder Lunalight at some point, so I can like banish Kaleido Chicks, so they couldn't do anything in the battle phase.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, Thunder was always so cool because you could mix it with so many different decks. Right? That's something I always really enjoyed about the deck. And when I saw that Snow was off the ban list, I was like, damn, I have to try this deck again. It's gonna be playable in some way, shape, or form, and it's working okay at least with this version.
All right, now we got to watch
I'm
their
curious.
combo and see if we can break their board.
Yeah, I'm curious on what they're gonna end on, because
There's a lot of searching
Spiral
going on.
Well, the Joel would have been good at least.
Yeah.
Spiral Flame. If you control an Autosman, target one card on the field, destroy it. Add to your hand one level 7 Auto Ice monster from your deck. You know, this is a deck. Do you play Master Duel?
I do not like Master Duel. I do play it, but more just because the format's kind of boring.
I feel you. I feel you.
But
Yeah,
Master
so
Duel has its own problems.
yeah, for sure. So, I definitely agree. But I did build the Auto Ice deck in the normal Rare Festival. I don't know if you're how familiar with the Master Duel events and whatever's
Metal
going on in
Foe
there.
and Megalith were like the top two.
Exactly, yeah. And I built more or less an Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon deck. So that's why I know some of the cards of these. But I didn't play in the era where they were even remotely good. If there was any era where they were good, and maybe in 2015 or something, or 14 they were okay, maybe. But I haven't played in that time, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, they were good around at one point in time. I think we're gonna lose just because I don't think we can beat Destroyer. And our hand has a kind of very restrictive.
Yeah, our hand is kind of super bad. Probably, I would probably start with.
I think we have to start with Gate, otherwise we only have a Frankenderp summon.
Yeah, I guess let's start with Gate.
Because I mean, if they stop Frankenderp, they're just gonna ignore Spirit Gates, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the likelihood of them stopping Frankendorp is very low. But if we normally the Frankendorp now, they are more incentive. How do you say, like, incentivized, or
Yeah.
they're more incentivized to negate the Frankendorp. That's why you could have thought about normaling the Frankendorp first, but because they're definitely going to negate the Dark Beckoning Beast. So
Well, at least we can like pitch something and bring it back. I mean, I don't know what we're going into. I don't think we can go into anything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Frankenderp at best gave us to draw a card.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the reason why, probably I mean, it's a tough choice. Why maybe I would have. Oh my god, they let us.
Yeah, like that was the problem there. Like this is our extra normal, so they had like incentive to destroy this, but they didn't. All right, that's as far as I think we're likely to get.
That's crazy. No,
every other play baits a response.
Yeah, so now we go for Link. No, we go for Linkuriboh first. That we just need to get 5 monsters in the grave at this point.
Yeah.
And we just discard the Dragon Roar.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they were thinking about responding.
Right, but that doesn't. Right, yeah. I'm gonna use that. They're probably gonna use DP now.
I think they're
honestly
gonna wait for next game to play it. Apparently.
Looks like I think we won now. I think if they let us go too far. Yeah, so we go for Anima now, maybe. Probably we should have gone for Anima in the first place.
Well, I mean, we can't make the Linkuriboh then because of the arrows.
Exactly. Yeah, but it would have baited the. Alright, are they gonna use Seal now? That doesn't make any sense. All right, let's let
put
them
one
do
of
it.
these back. Summon one of their dragons. Because, like, what are we doing at this point? We can activate Dark to put Dark in grave, and then link these off for a Link 2, and then have 5.
Yeah, what is their graveyard? Can you look at their grave? Audacious Celestial.
Yeah,
this is an effect. This is an effect as well. The monster they summoned, right? Like an interruption effect, I think.
Yeah. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Specials from the extra deck and negates effects.
So we could,
like, to put this on board, we just need to make a Link 2 and discard Dark.
Yeah. I think we make the Dark Link monster. So the Link 2 Dark, yes. I would use its effect. Just to see if they negate it with the Persona Dragon.
We could take their Verte. That's a good threat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, let's do that. That's nice.
That's like one of my favorite things you can do with Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, they really...
Wow. That's crazy, because now we can go for Access Code Talker, right?
Well, then Destroyer just tries to pop it. I mean, we should still try and threaten something first. right?
Yeah, I don't really want to activate the Dragon Dark if possible, because then the card is more or less dead.
I
So
understand, but I also think we need to put a card in the grave that way. Because if we go access code, they just DPE pop it, and then we can at most activate Dark and summon Hydrolander anyway, and it can't get over Vortex. Where we don't know what they'll do if we put the Hydrolander on the board, then we can kind of play around with what happens afterwards. I mean, we can just threaten battle and try and kill the Persona Dragon.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I think we have to get rid of the Persona Dragon for sure. So I would go to battle. And
it is weird, like, no matter what they pop, they're doing us, like, just doing what we want them to do.
Yeah.
I guess it can only negate the Dark, which doesn't do anything, because this is something from the graveyard.
Yep.
I mean, we could scare him by... Oh, we put Super Poly in, right?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, I thought about that already, but then we can't summon any monsters from the... we can't summon any monsters anymore.
We can also scare him by using the Verte Dark effect on the Vortex.
Yep. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's something we can do, yep. That's a good point. Wait, they just summoned something. What happened?
Apparently that thing summoned something. It destroyed... I think it... I'm a little confused with what happened.
Oh, maybe
we destroyed it by battle, so this thing activated to summon one from the deck. Which doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's fine. So we just go main phase 2. Yeah, I would also...
Threaten target his Vortex Dark.
So if we put Super Poly in the grave...
Well, let's just see what happens when we do this.
If we put Super Poly in the grave, can they respond to that?
Yeah, they can, right? For sure. I mean, he'll negate it for sure. The question is is that what we want him to do in the long run?
I mean, I think...
So we can Super Poly, he has to negate that.
Yeah.
But then we commit to not using Destroyer if we try to bait him earlier.
I think that's fine. Because we get... If they let it through, their DP and their Vortex are gone, and we can just put the Starving Venom in defense. So it's going to be difficult for them to TK us.
And that goes back to his graveyard, which I guess is something... That's a problem.
Alright.
We only have 4. I think we have
now
to.
We used it.
Now we have to.
Dragon Dark.
That's the problem with this play. It's a bit restrictive.
But I think we wouldn't have gotten any further with any other play, I suppose.
Well, now this can resolve to destroy something.
Yeah, we already got pretty far, to be fair. I feel like... Alright, only spells. That's not too good.
Not great.
At least we can... Yeah, at least we can destroy something if they don't respond.
Well, he has no reason to not respond now.
Then we get rid of the Vortex, I guess.
We have to get rid of Vortex. Because Enforcer just comes back. And that he can't just summon again.
Just every play is so bad here. I guess we just pass now.
Yeah, I guess that's all we can do. We just have to hope they don't do too much. I do think if we put the Orbital on field earlier, we might have had a little bit of leeway. But I'm not sure. Like, the Verte was going to get negated with the Super Poly play. But let's say we put Orbital, and then they just Destroyers it. We can then link into the access code and pop everything.
Yeah, so I think the main issue was that we only realized in the battle phase that we could turn the Vortex into Dark and bait it that way. Because if we would have done that in the main phase 1, like, it would have been way more of a threat, I feel like. Because, as you mentioned, then we could have also gone into battle potentially with the Orbital Hydrolander.
I think they got this one. I think we could just move on to game 2 at 3.
Yep.
Alright, let's see what happens in game 3. Now that we're going first, should we put anything in particular?
I mean, I would probably put in Cosmic.
Yeah, hitting a scale could be useful.
Mhm.
Anything dead.
And other than that, I would probably put out Super Polys and
Where are
maybe
they?
even Super Polys and maybe even Droplets. And put in the Chaos Valkyria and all the engine cards back in again.
The Thunders also?
Yes, also the Thunders.
Should we cut the Drolls? Because that would like end their turn.
Oh, we're at 62 now. Okay. I thought it would be enough. So then then I would put one of the Chaos Valkyrias out again.
I could cut the Nephthys. I wasn't sure if we should leave it.
Exactly, and the Nephthys we also put that out. Yeah. So like this, I think it should be fine.
All right.
Juicy. That's nice. All right.
Pot of Greed. What a great draw.
It's fine. Trace is a very good draw, actually. Because that's a normal summon. Yep. Summon Dragon Dark.
And go ahead. What do we do?
I would... Normal summon... I would use Emergency Teleport first. Use Emergency Teleport and get out Franken's up. Yes, use the effect. See if we definitely take that. Yep. All right, then we normal the Tracer. We make our Striker Dragon. Yep, use the effect. Now, now I would activate the effect of Striker Dragon. Yeah, use Boot Sector. Use the effect of Boot Sector. Get out the Tracer. Use the effect of Tracer. Destroying the Boot Sector. And now we can't go into Cures anymore, but it doesn't matter because we already have access to Snow. So we go Chaos Ruler. Use the effect, exactly. Mill 5 cards. Another Dragon Dark. Draw. Alright, we can't add that. So I guess we add this on a Dragon Dark. Just so we don't have many multiple names in the grave. And now once again, we just make IP and Anaconda. We just have to think about the most efficient way to do this. Probably summon out the Valkyria, banishing the Striker Dragon. Go with Dragon Dark. Go with Chaos Ruler and Valkyria into IP Masquerena. And then go into Anaconda.
Should I bring back the Chaos Ruler and keep the Dark on field so we can link it off, maybe?
You can just make the Anaconda now with Frankendup and Dragon Dark. And then...
Oh yeah, I forgot we didn't use the Dark yet.
Yeah. We get Hawk, exactly. And then we can summon Hydralander and Chaos Ruler.
Is there a reason to summon Chaos Ruler? Do we have a use for it?
Yes, we want to banish the Chaos Valkyria so we can put Snow in the grave.
Oh yeah. Totally forgot we were doing that. Gotcha. Derp. Oh wait, Dark, just in case we get another... No.
Oh no, we have the other one in the hand, so Tracer. Tracer would be the next one.
I had Derp.
It's whatever. It's whatever. We get Snow in the grave anyway, so we can regulate our grave more. Now you could also still activate the Hawk to get the Roar back on field, just to have even more field presence, and also to get more cards in the grave.
We can activate Goldsark, chain Hydralander to mill 3, but also have a card to destroy.
I don't think that's worth it because we don't have a card that we really want to banish right now from the deck. But I think you can just, if you really want to activate Hydrolander, which is something you definitely can do, you can just pop your Dragon Roar. It doesn't really matter because the Dragon Roar is not really something that on the opponent's turn I feel like will give you like a lot of advantage or anything. It's just a random body on the field. Nice. That was actually a very good mill once again, right? We hit kill space, I think.
Yeah, which we can use. If I think something's banished here, we can do the Valkyria or the Striker Dragon.
Yeah, Striker Dragon for sure.
So the Striker Dragon pretty much means we can gain access to any dark monster in the graveyard, right?
Exactly, on the next turn. So, oh my god.
Broken. Broken.
Yeah, so we're gonna use Anaconda, exactly. Some DPE.
And I think that's it.
Yep, that's it. So the great thing is, once again, we have Snow in the grave. Okay,
well,
doesn't really matter.
That's mildly annoying if they can do stuff. So we should try and keep them from doing things.
I don't think it's gonna be.
That's a great way to start.
Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't matter usually because your grind game is way too good for them to beat you in the grind game, but you have Snow to survive. Anyway, even if we didn't have Joel, yeah, because Joel was obviously a top deck of our kill space. So even if we didn't have Joel, I think that mostly if they Dark Ruler you with Snow, you can survive enough, or long enough, so that you win in the grind game because they cannot OTK you through the Snow.
Well, so, opening full combo versus Pendulum, you know, being just Droll was good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah, so Snow would have grinded out for a little while. I mean, it's hard to put it in the graveyard after they negate the board, though. So we'd have to just rely on them killing it. But there's no reason to kill it. They got a lot of things to kill.
Yeah, no, it would just be one interruption. But I've had many matches where they just didn't have... Like, not every deck has access to graveyard control. So there are decks that... where, for example, Dragon Link, where they cannot banish cards from your grave. So they don't have a way to get rid of your Snow unless they just run over it or destroy it with access code or something.
Well,
so that's how you can...
Sometimes they play that, right?
Yeah, but you only activate Snow in the battle phase. It's just about surviving for you. You don't even interrupt them in their place. If you have a lot of cards in the grave, even if they make something like Savage, you can use Snow multiple times in the grave. So you just have to survive the battle phase, and then with Dasher and Celestial and DPE, you just keep grinding and you just keep getting cards. And on the following turn, then you can go for something like Dark, Link Monster, get back their cards, and search another Hydrolander. Because for this version, we're only playing one Hydrolander. You could also play 2 or 3 if you want to.
Yeah, it just risks having more unplayable hands, I guess.
Exactly, yeah, but...
you can add it to hand off a Chaos Space, right?
Mm-hmm, you can.
But you don't play a lot of lights for that.
Well, yeah, Chaos Valkyria, we play Gamma, Driver, Snow. So sometimes it comes up.
All right. No. We drew it a couple times, which was helpful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Let's go back to the deck list, see if we can think of anything that didn't come up. All right, any last words on things that we could have done or should have done or might have come up in other matchups that are worth addressing?
I mean, I think honestly, we gameplay-wise, we did it pretty okay. I think the Flunderies match was a nice show-off of what the deck can possibly do. When it comes to deck choice or card choices, I spent so much time with the deck now that there's not really a lot that I would change at the moment. There are definitely completely different routes that you could take. For example, you could play a version where you go for shooting Riser Dragons somehow and make rank 7 or level 7 synchros with Destrudo as well. So you have a second dragon in the grave, and then you could mill Snow and make Baroness and stuff. So that's a completely different route, but it adds a couple more bricks, I feel like, and you have to... how do you say, like, give up a lot of your extra deck space that we don't have with this specific version. So I don't know, I enjoy it. How did you like it? Did you like the deck?
It's fun. It's got a little bit more freedom than I realized it would. Like, my concern with lots of decks is they tend to get tunneled into a certain play, and then like you play something slightly off, and then you can't figure out what to do. We got pretty far with the cards we had, which was good. I was thinking, like, There are cards we're not playing that other people play in their decks. I mean, I know we're doing a lot of random mills, and I did want to ask about the vampire zombie.
Hmm.
Any thoughts on that card?
Yeah, the vampire zombie I'm just not a fan of in general. Like, I think that even in the dragon deck, the pure dragon deck, where they play that card, uh, like rarely it's ever really good, and then you just mill their water enchantress or phantom knight cards or whatever. So you just give them more advantage than you gain from it. I feel like,
Well, milling a main
and
deck Lancia in your own deck or theirs seems to be like the key play.
exactly, yeah. But that's a gamble that I'm not willing to take, especially with I think the game plan is how do you say like it's specified enough for what we want to do. Like, I don't feel like that getting cards in the grave is the main problem of our deck, but the main problem we have to address is to start getting cards in the grave in the first place. So that's why I think, from a deck building perspective, the problem or the things that we should try to fix with this deck is having more starters and less bricks. But this is the best that I could come up with in those terms. So I rarely have the problem where I have already two level 8 monsters in the game somehow, and I need more cards in the graveyard. For example, like a Chaos Ruler, and if you would play something like Dragon Duo or Chaos Creator or the Chaos Neftis, for example, or even something like Orbital Hydrolander to go for Vampire Zombie. So I just don't feel like it's a card that would fix the problems the deck already has.
Gotcha.
So
Any thoughts on Scythe? I know we
yeah,
lock
so
ourselves out into dark sometimes, I guess is the problem.
I guess no. I think I can be honest in saying that I just don't want to play Scythe. So if you want to play a Scythe deck, I think this is just not the deck that you should play. Like, if you want to play a deck that puts out Scythe, you just play Based or any other deck that's out there in the format that makes that card, or Phantom Knights that makes that card consistently, right?
Yeah, I agree.
This
There's no
is
point in being the worst version of a Scythe deck.
exactly, yeah. There's just no point in that. Like, I mean, of course, it's incredibly powerful, but there are decks that scythe lock a lot better. Of course, like for example, the Phantom Knight deck, you scythe through Droplet, or even through multiple outs that they could have. But our deck would only scythe through nothing, basically. So if they have Droplet or something, it would probably, yeah. And I think just how do you say, like, optimizing the deck towards Snow instead of Scythe is way better, because Snow, if you can abuse Snow multiple times on your first turn, it's just as good as Snow, right? Like, booking, like having twice or even triple Book of Moon on their turn, it's so incredibly good, right? So yeah, I think that's why the Scythe is, it's not really needed for this specific version. But of course, if you want to go ahead and play Scythe, of course you can do it. Yeah.
All right, cool. Nothing else comes to mind. Everyone, make sure you check out Thunder Theory on YouTube and keep up with the progress of the deck in both paper and as well as Master Duel. I don't think there's a better
Yeah.
deck with Grass on Master Duel. Like, if you're playing Infernoid Grass on Master Duel, drop that, play some Thunder.
Exactly.